Right, it's the start of a new day. I've come in today with the aim of getting Richie's head back on the motor. So I've spent the last half hour just cleaning up the block with a bit of sandpaper on a block, and I'm now at a point where I'm halfway across with a bench stone and a WD-40 over there, and I'm just going to show you the last little bit of cleaning up. This process just takes off any high spots that might have got left behind by doing it with a sanding block. Sanding blocks are not particularly accurate. Bench stone is lovely and flat, so obviously the cleaner you can get this, the better seal you're going to have. I think there's a few little noticeable marks on here that are going to get stuck around. I'm not going to get rid of them, but hey ho, I've got a tube of Hylomar blue coming out because I worked for a VW specialist for some time, and doing a head gasket on the same engine in a different vehicle was actually a VW Chiron Galaxy type thing. Did the head gasket on that, and they were insistent that they put it in every single head gasket that they do. So, given a few little marks that are left here on the block, I'm going to use that myself. Don't like these new WD-40 tins. Spray for too long. Right, let's have a clean up of this and see how it looks. Okay, I'm happy with that, so I'm going to go and clean the head up now and wait for this tube of Hylomar, get the head gasket coated, and I'll show you a video of getting the head back on. I need to set this back to its timing marks in the meantime, so it's nice and easy. There we have it. Right, nice and quickly whilst the kettle's on and I'm making a coffee waiting for this Hylomar stuff to turn up, I'm just going to change the rocker cover gasket. It's dead simple really. Find a corner, pick any corner and give it a tug. Doesn't matter if the bolts fall out, put them back in. Quite clean in there. Some of these fucking bolts. That was easy said than done, certainly. I wasn't expecting all the bolts to fall out. Right. It's in. These are a bit flappy, but I'll have to make sure they're seated properly when it goes back together. Onto the head. Okay, I've finally got my tube of Hylomar. I've been waiting cracking on 4 hours for this actually, so I'm going to get this opened up and start putting a nice light smear on the new gasket. Bottom side first, we'll refit it to the block and then we'll do the top side. Lovely stuff. Right, that's a nice coating all over there. All the coolant channels are still open, all the channels are still open. I think I'm going to go get a cylinder head and try and wrestle with that, get it on with the exhaust manifold. Right, so we've got the gasket Hylomar'd up. I'm just about to go and grab the head, and then I think we're going to try and have a bit of a battle, bit of a standoff with this exhaust manifold whilst we're struggling to get the head back on. So then I'm going to try and get the engine rock forward a little bit, which doesn't help. Bring it up and see what happens if you go up. Will it pull the turbo away a little bit? Oh, lovely, look at that. stuck on here. Okay. There we go. And we're in. So, I need to unpackage these new head bolts, give them a light coating of oil, and start torquing this down before the Hylomar starts going on. Okay, so I've got all the head bolts lightly oiled. Just use a spray lube for these. Grab the Torx bit and we'll spin these in. Thank you very much.
Head over to monstercat.com/events.
Nice of you to show your face, Glenn Miller.
We're throwing a free VR pre-party to get you guys amped up the week before. So, October 11th.
Make sure nothing's stuck under the head. I can listen to my look. Okay, it's clear. So, according to the data sheet that comes with the bolts and the gasket set, you've got to tighten these in a sequence. 26 Newton foot-pounds, and then 44 foot-pounds, and then 90 degree. So, grab the torque wrench. Here we are. Took a bit longer than expected to find. Starting in the sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could do with an extra pair of hands really, just to make sure I'm not missing any of these out, but let's go. Go with my slippy torque wrench. Five. He's counting again. Just can't help myself. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Right. Next stage is 60 Newton meters. So we'll wind this up to 60. Again, round to the 60. Stop on the 0. 1. Come on. 2. 5. 9. 10. going to check again in sequence that all of these are tight before we start the angle tightening. Right, I'm going to set up my angle gauge and we'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I've got the angle tightening gauge fitted on the first bolt. This is going to be quite a lengthy process getting all these tightened up, and of course we've got 2 stages of 90 degree. So I'm going to go and get a sip of coffee and we'll get on with this. Right, let's get our first bolt tightened. Number 8. Fantastic. 9. Number 10. Okay, so for a minute I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to watch that back to make sure I did all 10. Okay, miraculously I managed to tighten up all 10 in sequence, and now I've got to do it all again. So I've zoomed the camera in a bit, maybe you can see what's going on with the angle tightening gauge, and I've tried my best to keep my fat head out of the way, but I ain't making no promises. I better go and get that sheet. Right, now I've set the dial on 0, wedge there, and we're going to take this round to 90 degree on the gauge.
This next one isn't on their new EP, but it fits just so perfectly. So yeah, you're a superstar.
90.
Let's do it.
2. That ain't gonna work, is it? Four. Number 5. Go to number 6. Number 7. Number 8. It's a rather odd sample in this music, though. Number 9. Last but not least, number 10. Go me. So now we've got all the head bolts tightened up, I'm going to start slowly assembling the head, starting at the back. I need to try and separate the turbo union, the oil feed, because the small one that screws into the top of the turbo seems to have come loose in my attempt at taking the turbo off. So hence that's why the turbo is left in situ. I think the easiest way to deal with that is to chop up a 17mm spanner and we'll get it around the bottom banjo, and away we go. Okay, so I've got the rocker cover gasket back on, the inlet manifold's back on, the turbo's back on. I've managed to do up the union down there. I've got to connect at the fuel pump and the coolant manifold, put the glow plugs in, but I can wait until after I've done the cam belt and the water pump. I've got a new tensioner here for it, and the rest of the kit over here on a bench with some new bolts and a water pump. Oil sitting over there. So we're good to go really. Let's see this motor out of here today. Oh, well, I've got a boo-boo. So I think I've been sent the wrong water pump. Visually it's different, and diameter is different. This one here is measuring up at 65.1 millimeters, and this one over here is measuring up at 60.8 millimeters. So a bit disappointing really, but I'll get used to this. Certain company that floats around in little blue vans, not very helpful. In fact, I think that's Hans knocking at my door. Shall we see who it is? Here he is.
Morning, Chris.
Morning, mate. You alright?
Yes, fine, thanks. You?
Good. Don't go all shy on me now, will you?
What? No.
No. Good. I've just been sent the wrong water pump.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that
So-
looks neat.
Yeah. It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just smarten up the workshop a little bit. Well, the music stepped up a notch, and so's work on the Bora. Cam belt's back on. I'm just working on the engine mount. I hate that thing. It sits around the back of the engine whilst you're trying to work. But yeah, give it half hour, 40 minutes. I reckon we'll be going in for the start. Right, well, she's warming up nicely. I believe I've got all the airlocks out of it. It's not pressurising. I'm just waiting for the thermostat to open up. And once the thermostat's opened up, double check we've got no airlocks. And it's jumped underneath, changed the oil. So whilst it's been in here, I've noticed a lot of these vacuum hoses are quite bad condition. So worst one's here, look, quite chewed up. So I've had 5 metres of vacuum hose delivered, and I'm going to set about replacing all of these with some good stuff. Right, well, just a quick recap before this gets taken out for the road test that we spoke about a minute ago. Since that video, I've replaced a few vacuum hoses because we had a few leaks, or suspected leaks from them. The customer reported he had some N75 problems. Now, that's usually boost related, and if it's anything like the Peugeots, it's usually to do with NAF vacuum pipes. So we've changed these. I didn't manage to change all of them because I didn't realise that these ones on the right there were bigger. So, to recap what we've done essentially a full cylinder head strip down and rebuild, which includes the following items. You've got your valve stem oil seals, your camshaft oil seal, your inlet and exhaust manifold gaskets, you've got the multi-layer steel head gasket with a smear of Hylomar on it. I've also sorted out an oil leak here going into the injector loom. Replaced all the vacuum pipes, obviously. We've done the glow plug, so we drilled the glow plug out of the cylinder head. That's a nice tight seal, by the way. I'll give it a coat in a fairy liquid whilst the engine was cold, and didn't see any bubbles off it. We've done the cam belt kit, water pump. This was a bit of a pain because it had the old hydraulic tensioner. Shame it's not a newer vehicle, because I could have done without the effort of having to try and set that up and saved a bit of time there, but never mind. What's done is done. It's had an oil change, an oil filter, and it's also had a coolant change. I've replaced the 4 cheese bolts on the bottom crank pulley. They're nice and tight now. Actually, I found some from a Peugeot which won't round off. That's it really. So we're going to go out for a road test in a minute and make sure we haven't got any head lift. I'm pretty sure we haven't, to be honest. I'm too good at doing these things. I take my time with it. I'm a perfectionist, so I can't see there being any head lift, especially now the head's been skimmed, and we've got a new multi-layer steel gasket in there with a smear of Hylomar. So any marks on the cylinder head have gone. I've cleaned up the block to within an inch of its life, and I'm happy to let this go. So now it's just a case of waiting for the customer. It's pretty much gone dark out there. It's 6:10. and we'll get this out on a road test. I don't want to take it out on my own, because if we have any problems, it's going to be a long walk back, and I won't have anyone around if it needs a tow back. Pretty sure that's not going to be the case, but you know, sometimes you have to think the worst and you end up getting good results. Right, my customer's here. Old Richie, where is he? Here he is. How you doing, mate? All right?
How you on, brother?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Good evening.
Well, got a Bora ready for you.
Good man.
Shall we hop in it, take it out for a road test?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Right, so we just come out for a road test in the Bora. Done about 2 miles. We've turned around, heading back to the workshop. Not overheating yet. In fact, the needle's barely risen off the minimum. And yeah, you impressed, Richie?
Very impressed, Chris. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, mate. So let's get. Oh, that was a pothole and a half.
Oh, there, mate.
So let's get back to the workshop and we'll double check the floor. Make sure we haven't got coolant draining out everywhere. Right, well, we're back off the road test. Should we pop bonnet?
Yeah, pop the bonnet.
And jump out and have a nose.
No pressure.
No pressure. Good man. We've got no water on the floor either.
Nope.
So it's time to go home. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bradshaw's Workshop. I'm on Facebook as well. See you later, guys.